tell me what is the GCD of two numbers? Any one of you? Also, if you don't have anything to speak, can you please stay on mute? So GCD, I mean, we have heard this like a lot of time. If you have to find the GCD of two numbers, what we usually do is, uh, we we actually it's a greatest common divisor. So basically, if there are two numbers given to you, and if you want to find the number which is the greatest number which is dividing both the numbers, then that number is known as a GCD, the greatest common divisor. The other word for the same is HCF. So you might have heard of HCF, highest common factor or greatest common divisor. So both are the same numbers. So let's say if I ask you that you need to find the GCD of two numbers, correct? Should work now. Yeah. So if we have to find, just a second, if I'm able to write. Looks like there is some problem with it here. Just give me a second. Sorry, guys. Some technical issue with my pen. Okay, no worries. We'll use the doc for now. Should be fine. I'll try to figure out what exactly is going wrong there. Okay, so let's say if I have to find the GCD of two numbers, right? So let's say we have a GCD, and let's say we have to find a GCD between 15 and 30. So can I find the GCD between 15 and 30?
I found this on the web.
Sorry. Yeah. So the GCD of 15 and 30, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So what is the GCD of 15 and 30? The GCD of 15 and 30 will be 15. Let's say if you have to find the GCD between 23 and 48, then what will be the GCD? The GCD will be 1 in that case. So if there is like, the GCD will be 1 in that case, correct? Now let's say if I have to find the GCD between 6 and 9, then the GCD will be what? The GCD in that case will be 3. And let's say we have 6 and 30, then the GCD will be 6. Let's say we have 9 and 12, or let's say we have 18 and 24, then the GCD will be what? GCD will be 6 in this case. Yeah. Just a second. Yeah. So GCD will be 6 in that case. Now, if this is given to you, right? Now, what you need to do is you need to write a function which will actually help you to calculate a GCD of given two numbers. Then how we'll do it? So let's try to come up with a strategy for these questions. Okay. So let's say if I have to find the GCD of two numbers, then I'll take, let's say I write the number in this one, 30, let's say 24 and 18. Now, if you'll see here, can I write if both of these numbers are divisible by 18, correct? Then the answer would have been 18, correct? Now see, how can you write this number? So you can write this number as 18 plus 6, and you can write this 18 as 18, correct? So you know that this particular 18 is divisible, correct? Everyone know what is everyone has used percentage, right? So if I'll do percentage of 18 here, then what you will get here, you will get 6 comma 18, 6 comma 0, correct? So that means that if this number would have been, this number is divisible by 18 for sure. If this number, the 24, would have been divisible by 18 completely, then that would have given us the answer, correct? But the problem currently is that although the 18 is divisible by this 18, but 6 is not divisible by 18. So if we somehow try to figure out what, like if this and this, both the numbers are divisible by a particular number, then that will be my answer. Correct. So what I'll do is now, instead of, so this is divisible by 18, I have to divide this number as well by some number, so that now, but this number is not divisible, that's why we are not getting the answer as 18. So we need to find a number which divides this number as well as this number. So what I'll try to do now, I'll try to, in a way I try to find the GCD of 18 and 6. Now how can I write 18? So I can write 18 as 6 into some 3 times plus 0. Correct. I can write this as 6 into 3 times plus 0. If I divide this number, and I will write the 6 as 6. Correct. So can you say that this number is completely divisible by 6? Also, this number is completely divisible by 6. So that means that all this and this both are divisible by 6. So what would be your answer in that case? Your answer would be 6 in that case. Correct. Let's take another question. So let's say we have 23 and 48. Correct. So let's write as 48, 23. Correct. Now what will happen in this case? How can I write 48 in terms of 23? Just a second, guys. So now we have to find the GCD of 48 and 23. So how can I write 48? So I can write 48 as 23 into 2 times plus what? Plus 2. Correct? Do you agree? Now see, and I will write 23 as 23. Now if this number is divisible by 23, this number is divisible by 23, but this particular number is not divisible by 23. So what I'll try to do is I'll try to find a number which divides this number as well as this number. Correct. So I'll find the GCD between what? 23 and 2. Now how can I write 23? I can write 23 as 2 into 11 times plus 1. Correct. And I can write 2 as what? I can write 2 as 2 itself. Now this number is divisible by 2 for sure, but this 1 is not divisible by 2. Correct. So what I need to do, I need to find a number which divides this number as well as this number. So what I'll do, I'll write 2 comma 1 here. If I'll do 2 comma 1, then I can write this 2 as 1 into 2 times plus 1 into 2 times, and I can write this 1 as 1. Now this is number is divisible by 1. This number is also divisible by 1. So my answer would be what? Answer would be 1. Is there any confusion here? Any one of you? Let's take another example. So let's say we have 75 and we have 30. Okay, let's find for this number. What will happen in this case? How can I write 75? I can write 75 as 30 into 2 times plus 15, and I can write 30 as 30. Now see, if you'll see here, this number I can easily divide by 30, but this is the number which is causing the problem. So what I need to do, I need to find the GCD between 13 comma 15 now. 30 comma 15. Now how can I write 30 in terms of 15? So I can write 30 as 15 into 2 times plus 0 comma 15. Now this number is divisible by 15. This number is also divisible by 15. So my answer would be what? 15. So you understood the underlying concept. Now we need to write the program for the same. How to write a program? So let's say there is, so what do we need to return? We need to return an integer. We have to find the GCD between two numbers. Let's say we have got int a comma int b. Correct. Now let's try to see how to write the code for this. So we have to, GCD is the name of the function. We have two variables for which we have to, or two numbers for which we have to find the GCD. So what we were doing here, we were, so whenever, see, when are we, so we have to, let's say this is my a, this is my b. So can I write if a % b double equals to 0, So this is the terminating condition. So this one is we are writing a recursive function where we are trying to figure out the terminating condition. What is terminating condition? Terminating condition is the condition which actually stops your recursion. So that is the condition which we always need to write whenever you are actually doing the recursion. So this will be my terminating condition. How to figure out the terminating condition? So you figure out the terminating condition by figuring out where exactly your recursion should stop. And as soon as you end, the terminating condition should always be written on the top. And you start returning the answer from the terminating condition itself. So what is my terminating condition here? So at this point, I was able to figure out the answer, correct? So if you'll see here, what is happening? We are writing this is 15 into 2 times plus 0, comma 15. So what we are doing, essentially we are dividing this both of these numbers by 15. So B will always be divisible by itself. But if A is divisible by itself, A is divisible by B, the answer would be B. So can I say if A percent B double equals to 0, then what would be my answer? Then my answer would be
B.
The answer would be B, correct? So we'll return B from here. Otherwise, what we'll do? See, what we were doing here, we were again calling the GCD, right? So here, what we were doing, we were again calling the GCD, and how we were calling the GCD? So we were finding the remainder here, correct? The number which is remaining right now, correct? And we were calling the GCD of this number, comma this number. So this was my B. So can I write GCD of, now B will become my A. See, we were 30, comma 15, right? So how we were writing this? So this was my B earlier. Now this became A. So can I write GCD of A, comma, and what we were passing here? This was the remainder, right? When we divide A from B, then the remainder which we were getting, we were actually sending it as a again GCD in the GCD function, correct? So what we'll do? We'll do A percent B, correct? So if I write this as B, comma GCD of B, comma A percent B, then what will happen? We'll calculate the value of this, and the whatever will be the returned value, we will keep on returning that value, and the final answer will be returned. Okay. Let me try to explain you the recursion tree for the same question. So generally what you do is whenever you have to create a recursion, you start, and how exactly a recursion works as well. Let me try to explain that to you people. Just a second. Let me try one more time. Not sure why my pen is not working today. I'll try to figure out what exactly went wrong. I mean, it was working till yesterday. Something might have gone wrong. I'll try to check it.
Hi, Prakhar.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Are we considering here that A number will be always bigger than B?
That's a good question, actually. So let's see if what happens. Note, shall we consider that A is greater than B? Let's try to do it in another way. Okay. So let's say if we have to find the GCD of 30, 75, then what will happen? Okay. So what will happen here? We'll call GCD function. So now if I have to write 30 in terms of 75, then how I'll write it? So I'll write 75 into 0 times plus what? 30, comma 75. That's how it will be. Now what we used to write here, so whatever, so this number, so basically this number is definitely divisible by 75. This number is
greater than, right?
Sorry?
In the next iteration, it will just pass the reverse order.
Exactly. Correct. You're correct. So what will happen in the next time when you'll call the GCD again? See, this was my remainder, correct? A percent B, and this was my B. So the number will become what? 75, 30. And now automatically the GCD function will take care of finding the GCD. So you don't need to worry about if the number is smaller, if A is greater than B or not. If it is not, then automatically the number will be reversed in the next iteration and next recursion, and basically you will get the A will automatically become greater than B in that case. So you don't need to worry about that. Okay?
Yeah, okay, I got it.
Understood? Okay. So see how we are doing here. See what we are doing is, first we are trying to figure out what is the answer for 75,30. Correct? So we are trying to figure out the answer for 75,30. And whenever we do recursion, the values are stored as a part of the stack. So first, what will happen? We will put this 75,30 into the stack. So this will be put into the stack. Then after that, what will happen? When we'll find the recursion of 30,15, then again it will be put onto the stack. And then finally we'll because a%b is double equal to 0. So in that case, what will happen? This will return. Correct? This will return the value. So the returned value will be what? The returned value will be 15. And as soon as you return the value, it will be returned to the address from which you actually made a call. So because you made a call from here, the answer will be returned to here. And this call was made from where? This call was made from here, right? So the 15 will be returned here as well. And as soon as you return 15 here as well, what will happen? Finally, the answer returned would be what? Because you have to find the GCD of 75,30, the answer returned would be what? 50. Is there any confusion here in the GCD question? I hope not. Okay. So if there are no confusion, let me actually give you an assignment question on the same. So what you have to do is, let me copy the question here.
So, Prakhar, I have one question, right? I mean, it's not basically the solution, I got it, but my basic question is, how do you recognize if a problem you can do it with, recursion versus, I think the last class you did some problems just by doing the iteration of an array kind of thing, right? So how do you, I know it comes by practice, but like, how do you recognize that, okay, this is something that you will have to do with recursion versus a regular loop?
Good question, actually. So basically not, and yes, you mentioned the correct point that it comes with practice, but there is a way to recognize if the question can be solved with the help of a recursion or not. So basically what you do is you try to draw a recursion tree. Okay, now I'll explain you how to draw a recursion tree, maybe we'll in the next question. So if you're able to figure out the recursion tree very easily, and if you know that this is my terminating condition, then you actually go ahead with the recursion. So it doesn't mean that you can't solve the current question with the help of iteration. Correct? If you'll try to figure out how to solve it with the help of iteration, you can do it with the help of iteration as well. There are two numbers, right? You maintain these two numbers, so you can write it with the help of iteration as well. Okay. See, some of the questions are easy. I mean, most of the questions which you can do with the help of recursion can be done with the help of iteration, and other way around as well. But there are few questions where complexity automatically comes when you actually try to do it with the iteration. Why? Because in the recursion, you don't need to create a separate stack for yourself. The addresses are maintained by your compiler there. Correct? Basically, everything is maintained. It's sorry, not with the compiler, but it is maintained in the stack. So when you actually run your program, then these values are maintained in your stack, and you don't need to create your own stack. Correct? So there will be questions where you need to have the previous values when you are returning back. Now, instead of directly me telling you that answer at this point of time, I would suggest you to wait for some time, and eventually when we'll jump onto the questions of trees, right, you will figure out that how exactly we identified that this question could be solved very easily with the help of recursion, and it would be a bit difficult to solve it with the help of iteration. But we'll do some questions today as well, at least one question where you will see that you can do the same question with the help of iteration and recursion by changing the conditions. Now it depends on you, what do you exactly want to perform. Sometimes it becomes easier to write the recursion because the conditions are very simple, and recursion actually, if you write the correct terminating condition, if you write the correct conditions, then things will start working automatically. Basically, recursion will make sure that even if there are 15 values, it will work for, it will store the values and it will return you the correct value. In case of iterations, you might have to change the conditions accordingly. That happens, but it will be too early to actually explain the differences. So I would suggest you wait for some time, and when we'll go on to trees, right, I'll actually explain you in detail that you know, in this question, if you would have performed recursion, then this would be the difference. If you would have performed iteration, then you would have to create like these things and these all data structures separately.
Okay. Okay.
So wait for
Okay.
something.
Thank you.
Correct. But
Okay.
do one thing, you know, you try to write this question with the help of iteration as well. Correct.
Okay.
I would suggest you that. So here it becomes much more easier sometimes with the help of recursion, but you can do this question with the help of iteration as well. So why don't you take this as an assignment and try to solve this question with the help of iteration? Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Now can you see my screen? Is it visible?
Not yet. I think it just
No?
says started.
Let me share it again. Okay, can you see it now? By any chance?
Yes.
Yeah. Now.
So there is a question given to us. So what is the question? There are two strings S and T, where T divides S. Correct. So basically, T is greater string, S is a smaller string. So sorry, T divides S. So S is a bigger string, T is a smaller string. So you can write S as T plus T plus T sometimes. Return the largest string X such that X divides str1 and X divides str2 as well. Correct. So in this case, let's say there are two strings given to us. Here also there is this is first string, this is my second string. So the answer would be what? ABC, ABC, because this str2 completely divides str1. Let's take another example. So we have AB, 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 and here we have AB, AB. Correct. So if you'll see here, this AB, AB, AB is divisible, and this AB, AB are divisible by AB. Correct. So my answer would be AB in this case. Now let's see this one. So we have lead and we have code. So here nothing is common. So what we do? We return an empty string. So we just understood the concept of GCD, right? So you have to perform the GCD of, we did the question for GCD of two numbers. You have to do a similar question for GCD of two strings. So that is the assignment question for you. Why don't all of you actually create a lead code account? You don't need a premium account. You don't need to purchase anything. You can create your own account, and you can start putting the solutions of these questions here. And if you have any confusion, we can discuss it in the next class. Okay. Is the question clear to everyone? Any confusion here? Any one of you? Okay, cool. If there are if there is no confusion, let's move on to the next question.